20 χρόνια δεν σταματήσαμε στιγμή να σε ταξιδεύουμε. Κι έτσι κάποια νησιά έγιναν ο τόπος σου. Τα σοκάκια τους έγιναν σπίτι σου. Και οι παραλίες τους έγιναν στέκι σου. Οι ομορφότερες στιγμές σου είναι εκεί και σε περιμένουν. Και εμείς στην Blue Star Ferries φροντίζουμε να σε πάμε εκεί κάνοντας τα πάντα για να σε ταξιδέψουμε υπεύθυνα και πιο οικονομικά, για να μην λες ποτέ αντίο στους ανθρώπους και τα μέρη που αγαπάς, αλλά θα ξανάρθω, γιατί το ταξίδι είναι θέμα εμπιστοσύνης. Blue Star Ferries. Κανείς δεν μας ταξιδεύει καλύτερα.
Καλησπέρα σας κυρίες και κύριοι. Καλώς ήρθατε στο 11ο Φεστιβάλ Τουριστικών Ταινιών Αμοργού. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 11th International Amorgos Tourism Film Festival. The Amorgos Tourism Film Festival is an international, annual, 4-day event organized by the Cultural Association of Women of Amorgos. This year, we decided to launch the virtual version of the festival due to the national regulations and the national lockdowns related to the COVID-19 outbreak. At that point, I would like to thank Aegialis Hotel Spa that hosts the last 11 years that event. The festival is co-organized with the municipality of Amorgos under the auspice of Laskaritis Foundation, Hellenic Film Commission, Ministry of Culture, and Greek National Tourism Organization. We would like to thank you for being here with us today on the second day of our virtual festival, where you will have the opportunity to watch conference sessions on relevant topics regarding filmmaking and tourism development, as well as on environmental issues and concerns. Το φεστιβάλ είναι ένα ετήσιο γεγονός που συμβαίνει εδώ και τα τελευταία 11 χρόνια και φιλοξενείται στο ξενοδοχείο Αιγιαλής και γι' αυτό το ευχαριστούμε πάρα πολύ. Χορηγοί μας είναι το Υπουργείο Πολιτισμού, ο ΕΟΤ, η Ελληνική Επιτροπή Φιλμ και το Ίδρυμα Λασκαρίδης. Και είναι μια συνεργασία μαζί, μια συνδιοργάνωση με το Δήμο Αμοργού. Σας ευχόμαστε να τα απολαύσετε. As Dr. Angeliki Kosmopoulou supposed to be here, it was scheduled to present her speech today, but due to unforeseen circumstances, she couldn't attend. Σήμερα θα είχαμε μαζί μας την Dr. Κοσμοπούλου από το Ίδρυμα Λασκαρίδη, αλλά δυστυχώς για πρόβλεπτους παράγοντες δεν θα μπορέσει να είναι μαζί μας και να συμμετέχει. Θα κάνω μια μικρή αναφορά στην κυρία Κοσμοπούλου, γιατί είναι πολύ σημαντική, όπως είπαμε, είναι και χορηγός. I would like to present Dr. Aegialis Kosmopoulou, even though unfortunately she's not here with us today. She's the Executive Director of Laskaridis Foundation, which has been instrumental in environmental preservation efforts throughout Greece, with green initiatives such as Sea Change, a collective effort to remove plastic residue from the Aegean shores and recycle it for use in household items, such as reusable drinking cups. Όλοι ξέρουμε ειδικά εδώ στην Αμοργό, το Ίδρυμα Λασκαρίδη, με το πρόγραμμα Sea Change. Η κυρία Κοσμοπούλου βέβαια είναι γνωστή και για άλλα πράγματα, είναι μέντορας σε πολλούς οργανισμούς όπως το Women on Top, το Women Up και τρέχει και το πρόγραμμα το Fighting the Sea Pollution or Big Bad. Κάνουν τα πάντα για να είναι οι θάλασσές μας καθαρές. And now, because life is full of changes, we are very happy to have with us Mrs. Venia Vergou, the Director of the Hellenic Film Commission, a Directorate of the Greek Film Center, which is supervised by the Ministry of Culture in Greece. The principal aim of the Hellenic Film Commission, as they are going to inform us, is to promote and develop Greece as a filming destination for international film and TV productions. Joining her in the panel are Mrs. Stavroula Geronimaki, Operations Manager at the Hellenic Film Commission as well, Mr. Konstantinos Kotograkis, Producer at Heretic, and Mrs. Rea Apostolidi, Producer at Anima Productions. Thank you all for being here with us, and we are excited to hear your expert opinions about film commissions, film production, and tourist development. Μια και η κυρία Κοσμοπούλου δεν είναι εδώ, θα περάσουμε γρήγορα στο πάνελ, διότι μας περιμένουν ήδη η κυρία Βένια Βέργου, Διευθύντρια της Ελληνικής Επιτροπής Φιλμ, μαζί με την κυρία Σταυρούλα Γερονιμάκη, επίσης από την Ελληνική Επιτροπή Ταινιών, τον κύριο Κωνσταντίνο Κοτογράκη, ο οποίος είναι παραγωγός από τη Heretic, και την κυρία Ρέα Αποστολίδη, παραγωγός από την Anima Productions. Σας ευχαριστούμε πάρα πολύ που είσαστε εδώ μαζί μας. Χαιρόμαστε και περιμένουμε με αγωνία να ακούσουμε όλα αυτά που θα συζητήσετε, γιατί αφορούν και την Αμοργό. Οι περισσότεροι έχετε επισκεφτεί την Αμοργό και έχετε κάνει δουλειές εδώ.
Σας ευχαριστούμε πάρα πολύ. Σας ευχαριστούμε πολύ για την πρόσκληση και για το κάλεσμα. Θα συνεχίσουμε στα αγγλικά αυτή τη συζήτηση σήμερα. Thank you very much for this webinar, for giving us the opportunity to discuss about attracting international productions in Greece. And we believe that this is a very important initiative that you are doing over there on the island of Amorgos, especially in this strange time like this year. I think it's a miracle that you're actually having the film festival operating, and I wish you success in the near future. So in today's panel, as you said in your introduction, we will discuss about how the Hellenic Film Commission attracts foreign and international productions in Greece, and with this, it also helps into the growth of the film industry in Greece. And we are very happy that we have Rea Apostolidis from Anima Productions and Konstantinos Kotograkis from Heretic, primarily because, not only because they are very experienced producers with great projects in their profiles over the last years, but also because their recent productions were shot on Amorgos Island. So today's discussion is going to be around how all these efforts, all these strategic efforts among all of us, from authorities and producers to bring foreign productions and shoot in Greece, how all these efforts also help for the development and growth of the film industry, but not only, but also about the growth of the economic growth of the country in a local and national stage, but also the growth of film tourism and how one affects the other. And I would like to ask first you, Konstantinos, to give us a little bit insight about your recent experience of shooting on the island of Amorgos with daughters. It was the first European co-production that started shooting after the pandemic started, right?
Yes, indeed. The film is a German, Italian, and Greek co-production. It's a story, it's a road movie that starts from Germany and ends in Greece and the island of Amorgos. The film was scheduled to shoot and started shooting in Germany last February with the aim of being in Amorgos end of April, beginning of May. But of course, the pandemic changed all the plans we had, and we had to postpone the shooting. And we started in Amorgos 20th of June. We were officially the first country, the first production that happened abroad, co-production that was shot in a different country, and that happened on the island of Amorgos. And I want to say, the film was originally set on a Greek island. That it's based on a novel that was written by an author who has lived in Amorgos and knew the place. So we were naturally guided to the island. But one of the key factors that was very important for us to choose eventually Amorgos as opposed to other islands that were on the list was the fact that we found local authorities, local communities that were eager to have us there. This is very important when it comes to shooting international productions and when you have to host often hundreds of people in a place, and when you need the collaboration of different authorities and of course the local community to make your work happen. And we found this actually in abundance in the island of Amorgos.
Actually, sorry, I don't want to interrupt you.
No, that's fine, please.
Actually, set visits are really important for film commissions and film offices because it's important to see and have personal experience of how all these shootings take place. And I was lucky enough to have a set visit on Amorgos when you were shooting Daughters. And I had the chance of speaking to the German producer, Bettina Bokenhap, right, from Heimat Film.
Yes.
And Bettina was really keen on explaining how Amorgos was very welcoming to you, being COVID-free during the pandemic, and also how important it was for them, initially, the German producers, to bring the story from this very important novel, which was a bestseller in Germany, to bring it to the actual location where it all started. So going to film tourism, this is a very interesting journey from, from book, which is very well read and well received by the readers, to turn it into a new movie that is shot on a beautiful island, and then the viewers of this film potentially becoming tourists of the island is a very interesting trajectory. And do you think that this is going to be the case, like it was Luc Besson's Grand Blue?
I certainly hope so. It's an added value and an added benefit that film production brings. It should not be the only reason why we need to attract international production. The initial reason we need to attract the international production is because it helps our economy grow, both the economy of the local film business, because crews and cast and have fine work. The other reason is because we went to an island just literally on the 15th of June when we were able to leave Athens and go to the periphery. We were traveling to the island. We were the first during a time when normally under normal circumstances the tourist season would start. We were the first ones to go and we saved situation that was quite bad due to the pandemic. But pandemic aside, let's leave that aside. We brought a lot of capital investment on the island. businesses that worked with us. They were all happy in the end that we brought these opportunities there. On top of that, of course, there's also the possibility to bring extra attention in place. And in this case, this film is a good example because it does glorify people.
Sure, absolutely. When we're talking about growth, the initial purpose is to develop the film industry, the local film industry, and bring economic growth to the country while shooting. But after the project is done and it's shared with the public, then film tourism brings economic growth on a local level to local communities. So this is highly important for the local communities only, particularly, sorry. Rea, I would like to let Stavroula ask you a few questions about your experience with Amorgos Island, with a very interesting project.
Yes, Rea Apostolidis is a producer. The name of her company is Anemon. She has been working as a producer since 1995. She has a very long and strong catalog of documentaries that she has produced or co-produced. Among her titles is When Tomatoes Met Wagner by Mariana Economou. It is a documentary that premiered in the Berlinale Film Festival, and it was the Greek nomination for the Oscars. Among her titles is Dolphin Man by Lefteris Charitos, and it is a documentary that is based on the extraordinary legacy life of Jacques Mayol. You're familiar with this name because he is the diver that he's connected with the film of The Big Blue. And we would like Rea to talk to us about her latest project, documentary series that is Mediterranean Life Under Seas, and directed by the French producer and director Fred Fouillea. And part of the shootings took place in Amorgos Island in September. Could you please tell us about this documentary series and shootings?
Sure. So it's a very large, it's a 6-episode series about the Mediterranean landscape and the animals that live in the Mediterranean. It's a very big production for documentary standards. So the budget is about 6 million in total. There are a lot of European TV channels involved, such as France 2 and BBC. So the series is really going to be distributed across the world to most of the mainstream European public broadcasters. The series was not meant to shoot in Greece for a long time, but I think because of Ecomer, the tax rebate, and because they found the conditions in Amorgos and in other Greek islands very favorable, they extended the shoot in Greece, and we were able to spend a month in Amorgos in September, shooting wildlife, cats, eagles, the landscape, the architecture. It was really a fantastic experience. All of the island helped, and I think maybe it's important to point out that the director, Fred Fouillea, knew of the island. He had spent holidays there. And I think in France, as in many other parts of Europe, Amorgos has become famous because of the Big Blue. So that has really helped also in the documentary world bring, I think, attention to the island.
This is what we really say when we say that tourism supports film productions, and film productions support tourism, because what you say is that if the director hasn't been visited as a tourist the island, maybe he hasn't made the decision to finally decide to shoot the film in the island of Amorgos. And we say that Greece promotes archaeological sites and monuments, both as filming locations and as touristic destinations. But what about the underwater treasures of Greece and its remarkable underwater antiquities? You said about this documentary that will promote the rich Mediterranean underwater life. Do you think that through these documentaries we can enhance tourism experience on these sectors?
Of course, Mediterranean Life Under Siege has a lot of shootings underwater, especially with turtles and seals. What we found from our previous documentary that you mentioned, Stavroula, The Dolphin Man, is that the audience across the world is really interested in the sea and in reconnecting with nature, but especially with the sea. And the Greek sea is unique. It's like really recognizable. It's a recognizable brand. So I think that there's a lot of work to be done underwater or near the sea, and we should really make the most of this landscape, marine landscape in Greece.
And we could say that all these documentaries and feature films are like the ambassador of Greece as a touristic destination, but in a more, how do we say, with a flavor of being in contact with nature and not underwater life.
Yeah, I think they also promote Greek culture and Greek nature. So it's really beyond tourism. It's promoting the image of our country, which is really changing over the years. My first experience working was for the film, I don't know if you remember it, Captain Corelli's Mandolin in Kefalonia. And I think it's a very different experience and a very different result to what Big Blue did in Amorgos. Captain Corelli's Mandolin was less successful in that maybe it overdid the tourism, and a lot of the landscape has been destroyed now with the building. And recently, I think all these productions have been able to show a different Greek image.
And Rhea, if you allow me, what you mentioned earlier about marine life being very, very well received by the audience, this is really important to discuss, because, for example, in terms of the strategies that the Film Commission is doing, this gives us a lot of ideas on how to invest in promoting different ways and different portraits of Greece, something which is not, obviously everybody knows how amazing beaches and sea life Greece has, but promoting Greece through its marine life from our point of view is also important. And you also mentioned ECOME, which is the National Audiovisual Center for Media and Communications in Greece, which is the institution that operates the rebate. You mentioned how important the cash rebate has been into bringing foreign productions in Greece. And it was recently a huge success, the fact that the Greek cash rebate, which was up to 35% up until now, it was raised during the pandemic to 40%. So was that one of the reasons why the French producers came to Greece?
Yes, I think they would have come anyway, but they would have done maybe a week or 2 weeks of shooting. And as they progressed, the situation in Italy with the pandemic was really difficult, and nothing was working. So I think the combination of ECOME and the high level of technical crew in Greece, and the hospitality in islands like Amorgos, everything together combined them, led them to make the decision to film much more in Greece and really replace a lot of Italian shooting.
And also, I think, Konstantinos, you will agree as well, the fact that Greece has a very competitive cash rebate, and also Greece coped quite efficiently with the pandemic. These were the key reasons how not only we didn't lose productions that left the country because of the pandemic, but we also attracted productions that were initially scheduled to shoot elsewhere and in the end came to Greece.
Yeah, that's true. Even though I would like to, I mean, I would like to consider the pandemic only as a parenthesis and mostly a sad parenthesis in this whole story. I think it's more important to focus on how our cash rebate has indeed become a competitive tool that we can use in order to attract business and attract productions. I think that the fact that we have institutions that like the Film Commission that can help us in different procedures is important. But what I would like to stress here, since this this webinar is conducted in the context of the Amorgos Film Festival, is that people when crews, cast and crews that travel to a country to shoot, normally they stay there, they stay home. So leaving a good impression and having all these people going back home, back to their homes, having a fond memory of the place and the people. I'm not talking about their Greek colleagues. I'm talking about the place that host them. This is Amoros. It's very important because this is what will bring more business. Also, it's not just a financial incentive. It's not just the good crews we have. It's also the fact that all this is happening in a place we need to make home for a while and there in good conditions and in a friendly and welcoming environment. So I think that this is so far, and especially in Amorgos, we have managed to win this bet, and I think it's very important that we all keep that in mind. So it's again going back to tourism and film. It's not just it's an organic. They're organically tied to each other.
Sure.
Good service is not just good services at the production level, it's good services on a local level. Good hotel, good restaurants, good car rentals, people you can rely on. And that's very important.
What you mentioned right now is really important because we all know, the four of us know, that the Greek film industry is primarily based in Athens. Let's say 90% of it is based in Athens, and we don't have as much expertise scattered around the country in the islands and the other places. However, even though producers and production companies like yourselves and your companies are willing to accommodate and produce and shoot productions all over the country, it is equally important, as you say, to find business people, from accommodation, from the catering services, which are reliable, hospitable, and willing to accommodate your needs in the very least. And since you mentioned the Film Commission, I would like to say that it was a huge relief over the last couple of days that because of the coordinated efforts of the Greek Film Center and the Film Commission and the Ministry of Culture, we managed to make sure that filming will not be cancelled during lockdown number 2, which we are now facing. So I think this is equally important with cases like, being very professional, having competitive incentives, and all these extremely important cases. Rea, you mentioned that this is a very big production with many episodes. Have you already completed shooting on Amorgos Island?
Yes, but shooting is going to continue next year in Greece. We're currently researching other locations, and possibly they'll return to Amorgos, and we don't know yet.
So it's not a prerequisite to carry on the same location. You can be elsewhere in any other place.
No, yeah, this documentary series is shot across the Mediterranean, so in many Mediterranean countries with different wildlife, so like monk seals, turtles, eagles, cats, donkeys. So they are the characters, and they can be, the filmmakers follow them like across the Mediterranean.
I think everybody's now keen on waiting this project. Sounds really interesting, you know, because we all need to go back to nature and experience our lives through all this. Next year, do you know when filming is scheduled to take place?
No, we don't know yet at all, but the series is supposed to end next year and then be delivered in the beginning of 2022.
Okay.
And
since you have produced Dolphin Man, a very successful documentary, an amazing work. It was a beautifully made documentary by Eleftheris Haritos, talking about the life of Jacques Mayol, the main character of Grand Blue. And you've traveled, I assume, to so many different festivals all around with this documentary. Can you share with us your experience about, you know, how this documentary coming after Grand Blue spoke to the audience's heart, and what did this mean for Amorgos?
Yeah, I mean, I think there was an indirect connection to Amorgos because we didn't actually film there, but everybody connects the story of Jacques Mayol with Amorgos, so it, in a way, didn't really matter. We developed a campaign that was funded by the European Union with a lot of partners in Europe to distribute the film across Europe. So our campaign was based on the idea of connecting to the sea and what the sea means to us. We had photo competitions, we gave away free diving lessons. We did a lot of work on the water and why we're connected to it. We produced special clips with WWF, with experts speaking about their connection to the sea. We really worked on that, and we found that was a way of promoting the film really dynamically across the world to a lot of different countries.
What you say right now is so important because how you market your project in the industry is equally important as to how you produce it. And I'm sure that trying to find all these different angles of marketing a project helps out to its success. And now that you mentioned again, the marine life through the Jacques Mayol experience on the Dolphin Man, Konstantinos, you recently also co-produced and shot Mediterraneo, a Spanish co-production with Greece, recently shot in Greece, and it's a very important story as well. Could you tell us briefly about that too?
Yeah, well, it's a Spanish film, but we co-produced a story set in Greece, and it's set on the island. It's a real story of Oscar Camps, the creator of the NGO Open Arms in Barcelona, who came in 2015 as a lifeguard to the island of Lesbos, so intending to help saving people from the sea during the height of the refugee crisis. And he ended up creating the most important NGO that operates right now in the Mediterranean Sea. A very different view of the Mediterranean Sea from what Lea is doing. And we shot the film entirely in Greece because it's set entirely in Greece. Except for a small part, which is the beginning of the film in Barcelona. It was a big production and with a major Spanish cast. Unfortunately, we had to shoot, and in the end, the film in the region of Attiki, so it's shot around Athens, not in Lesbos. This is mostly for financial reasons, but also the current conditions with the refugee crisis on the island of Lesbos are not ideal to go and shoot a film like that there, I have to say. It would be indeed very strange to shoot the film while Moria camp was burning down to ashes. And we were recreating Moria camp here. Anyway, and now talking of sea and production, we're shooting on the sea, and that's why I need to go.
Exactly. Tell us about that also. The Triangle of Sadness, Ruben Östlund, right?
Of the new film by Ruben Östlund, the Triangle of Sadness, a Swedish film by the Palme d'Or winner, and we're shooting and this is a good example of how we can attract a film from all other, not just Mediterranean countries, or even all kinds of countries trying to attract this story and this film, because the film is shot on basically 2 locations: a mega yacht and a deserted beach. So we managed to attract this film, and we're shooting it now. We're wrapping on Friday. Through a combination of factors, the cash rebate included, the good reputation of the Greek crews, the locations that we could offer, and the infrastructure, which seems to be reliable nowadays. Yeah, we're shooting in the water tomorrow. We're shooting the yacht scenes. So I need to go there.
So basically, for the audience of Amorgos Film Festival, who might not really know the scope and depth and details of the job that Film Commission is doing, you know, our job is to promote the country, to attract attention. And by promoting country, we need to promote locations, infrastructure, industry, you guys, the human resources that we have. So if we have so amazing, experienced producers like you, you are doing most of the job, but then what you bring in the country it's an extra asset for our promotional purposes. So it's a circle and it's a chain, and one needs the other. So it's really important to know that we go out in the markets and we promote the country that has representatives who can bring so important projects in Greece. Apart from this production that you're shooting, you recently shot on Amorgos Island area, is there any other international production that you're preparing? That you can talk about?
Not that I can think of. We're finishing a film in Latin America, which is not Greek at all.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And a lot of different projects. But this, I think the Mediterranean is our most Greek project.
Okay, so you also work not only within Greece, but also outside of Greece.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And this is quite interesting because you expand your networking, and potentially you will bring other projects in Greece through those networking.
We hope so. Yeah, yeah. We work very hard on, I'm sure, like most Greek producers, on our network and collaboration with foreign producers, because it's the only way to produce a high quality film, by collaborating with other companies.
Yep, indeed. And actually, since you're talking, we're also shooting. We're now in Egypt, an Egyptian film. We're co-producing, thanks to the Greek Film Center, actually, and the minority co-production
funding program
that we could get from the Greek Film Center. Yes, and the film is a debut feature that is being shot as we speak in Egypt, and we're going to do some of the post-production here in Greece.
Fantastic. We are very glad that we had you today to discuss about your projects and your productions, and I'm sure that daughters and also Mediterranean, the productions that you are working there will bring again Amorgos on the spotlight after Lake Buisson and the Dolphin Man. I don't know if you'd like to add something to this discussion. Unfortunately, we don't have the chance of having a live discussion, being in Amorgos with our audience to have the chance of answering questions. But
Venia, I would like to say that since I remember Captain Kareli's Madalin so strongly in Kefalonia, I feel that Greece has changed beyond recognition in 20 years. Konstantinos mentioned infrastructure. It's completely different. Everything is reliable. Everything works. It feels so different to 20 years ago. Both Athens and the islands and the mountains and everything has been has changed.
This is really important, Rea, and we try, both me and Stavroula try really hard to have access to productions that come here in order to get some, comments, quotes from their experience, because we need that as tools in our campaigns, on our articles, on specialized publications and on the internet and so forth. And it's always the case, there has never been a quote that has something which is not, brilliant. I mean, they all leave the country being extremely satisfied, not only because of the amazing, beautiful locations. Bettina from Daughters told me in Amorgos that, some days we feel like we are in paradise shooting, not only on location, but in paradise. And it's not only that, it's not only the location, and it's not only the hospitality, it's everything. And reliability and trust is key. And it's, as you say, Greece has worked really hard, and because of you primarily, and also because of the authorities, and also the struggle that the Hellenic Film Commission has over the last 3.5 years now, and before, to start training the authorities about how important it is to issue a permit, how important it is to facilitate filming even within the COVID pandemic. All this is hugely important. And unless we all work together, and speaking of locals and hospitality and reliability, I know that Aegialis Hotel has been one of your supporters, and this is a very good example of how the local community can contribute to the success story of a country like Greece. So thank you both, Rea Apostolidis, and you, Konstantinos Kotobrakis, and with Stavroula Yeronimaki here at the office. We all thank you for being part of this webinar, and we wish the best for Amorgos Film Festival to grow and be even bigger and healthy and safe until next year. Thank you very much for your time.
Bye.
I would like to thank you as well. Thank you, Mrs. Yeronimaki, thank you, Mrs. Vergou, thank you, Mr. Kotobrakis, thank you, Mrs. Apostolidis. We are very happy and very glad that we are still safe, COVID-free, and at that point I can say that the Amorgian people did their best in order to keep the island safe, and that helped all the productions to take place here in Amorgos. Amorgos is a hidden paradise. Most of you have already discovered it, so we hope that you will come again with more productions. We can't wait to see your productions on TV. Δεν έχω τι να πω, πραγματικά συγχαρητήρια και σε εσάς. Ευχόμαστε να μας ξανάρθετε. Ευχαριστώ, καταρχήν ένα μεγάλο ευχαριστώ και συγχαρητήρια αξίζει και στον κόσμο εδώ πέρα που με ευθυσίες κατάφερε ακόμα και τώρα να είμαστε ένας προορισμός COVID-free. Ελπίζουμε να παραμείνουμε έτσι. Stay safe, healthy, and Amorgos is always waiting for you. Ευχαριστούμε πολύ.
Σας ευχαριστούμε πολύ και εμείς. Καλή συνέχεια.
Καλή συνέχεια σε όλους σας. Ευχαριστούμε. We hope you all enjoyed the conference sessions, and now we will continue with the screenings. Tomorrow we will be here at the same time. Here, it will be the third day. So, more distinguished guests, panel, the screenings for tomorrow. Enjoy it. Love from Amorgos.
20 χρόνια δεν σταματήσαμε στιγμή να σε ταξιδεύουμε. Κι έτσι κάποια νησιά έγιναν ο τόπος σου. Τα σοκάκια τους έγιναν σπίτι σου. Και οι παραλίες τους έγιναν στέκι σου. Οι ομορφότερες στιγμές σου είναι εκεί και σε περιμένουν. Και εμείς στην Blue Star Ferries φροντίζουμε να σε πάμε εκεί κάνοντας τα πάντα για να σε ταξιδέψουμε υπεύθυνα και πιο οικονομικά, για να μην λες ποτέ αντίο στους ανθρώπους και τα μέρη που αγαπάς, αλλά θα ξανάρθω, γιατί το ταξίδι είναι θέμα εμπιστοσύνης. Blue Star Ferries. Κανείς δεν μας ταξιδεύει καλύτερα.
आदिकाल से ही फागुन महीने की पूर्णिमा को होलिका दहन होता है। यह अग्नि प्रतीक है एक आरंभ का।
Assim como tudo o que dizes tem um efeito nos outros, tudo o que ouves tem um impacto em ti, no teu caminho. Que palavras dás ouvidos? A que sons? A que ruído? A que lugares?
Espetáculo.
Que música é a tua? Se soubesses de cor todos os sons que ouviste até hoje, saberias nota por nota o que te trouxe até aqui. Saberias ouvir em cada passo, em cada desvio, de que é feito o teu caminho. Como numa canção. Cada batida, cada cadência, cada palavra, cada som isolado a fazer parte de uma melodia maior. A teres que voltar a algum sítio, a algum lugar, volta aos sons que conheces desde o início. Volta ao mar. Volta ao pinhal. Volta às estradas onde ainda ouves os teus avós, as tuas raízes, a tua verdade. O sítio onde vais quando não queres ouvir mais nada. Mesmo que não queiras, és todas as conversas, és todas as palavras ditas e as que ficaram por dizer. És o silêncio. Tu és tudo o que ouves, mas acima de tudo, tu és o que escolhes ouvir. Tu és tu quando te ouves a ti mesmo, porque no dia em que tudo se cala, traz sempre o som da tua própria voz.
I've got the whole world at my fingertips. I feel like flying, I feel infinite. Come along now, the sky is endless now.
Ragazzi, spettacolo, non me lo aspettavo così. No, raga, c'è una Vespa qua in mezzo. No, raga, io voglio vivere su questa Vespa per sempre. Che spettacolo! Ok ragazzi, sono arrivata in questo bellissimo borgo e ora devo trovare la strada per l'agriturismo. Aiutatemi voi, vado a destra o a sinistra? Oh mio Dio, scusami.
Destra?
Scusami, ti ho fatto male.
Ehi, scusi!
No ragazzi, non ci sto capendo più niente. Arrivo in questi posti Ragazzi, vado? Oh, no, aspetta! Comunque sono serena.
Sono sereno anch'io. Mi piace la tranquillità della campagna.
Oh mio Dio.
Riccardo, ma tu puoi chiamarmi Harry. Anche tu in direzione agriturismo?
Harry. Sì, come sai che vado all'agriturismo?
Hanno votato a destra o a sinistra?
Sinistra.
Non ci hanno preso. La democrazia dei social non funziona.
Riccardo, cioè Harry, sei già stato qui?
No, prima volta. Vado in giro a fare foto e scambio la mia arte per un pezzo di pane.
Un artista?
Io creo per me stesso.
Ben arrivati ragazzi.
Ciao Francesca.
Ma vi conoscevate già?
Sì.
No.
Seguitemi.
Ragazzi, sono arrivata al posto e tra l'altro c'è una visuale incredibile, bellissimo. E attenzione, no, vabbè, bellissimo.
Ecco qua, servitevi.
Grazie.
Benvenuti a Varga. L'ho sentito anche te.
Cosa?
Un verso lugubre, tipo un ululato, un invento, ma più strano.
Me gliene accadono parecchie di cose strane qui,
Adesso gli è il momento di andare a fotografare le olive. Andiamo, Robert.
Robert. Prima Riccardo, poi Henry, adesso Robert. Come Robert De Niro.
Te lo spiego un'altra volta.
No, raga, che spettacolo! Qua raccolgono proprio le olive, ci sono gli alberi. No, vabbè, spettacolo! Spettacolissimo! No, si sta scaricando la batteria.
Stai serena, se vuoi posso passarti io qualche scatto, vediamo, in cambio di followers.
Ah, allora ce l'hai l'account Instagram?
Ah, ora come ora non me ne faccio nulla. Però potresti darmi la tua fetta di torta di stasera.
Guarda, piuttosto che la mia torta passo una settimana sabbatica dai social. La mia torta, mai. Oh!
Un sorriso. Andiamo, Robert. Vieni a vedere da questa parte. Guarda che spettacolo.
Ah, non mangiare le olive, si muore. Sono velenosissime da cruda.
No, sto scherzando. No, ne ho mangiata una. Oh, raga, portatemi all'ospedale, raga.
Ecco, questa è la papa col pomodoro, che è un piatto povero della tradizione contadina. E mettiamo l'olio dentro una bella pentola grande e ci aggiungiamo l'aglio. Poi dopo ci mettiamo la salsa di pomodoro. Dopo ci aggiungiamo il pane raffermo, vedi, non occorre tagliarlo in misure particolari perché tanto va bene sempre. Il pane, come lo recuperi, sempre buono è.
Oh mio Dio! Ma mi hai messo l'aglio? Dai, adesso saprò d'aglio per sempre.
Guarda, comunque l'aglio non ti crea nessun problema, è un toccasana per la salute e poi risolve i problemi di circolazione e scaccia gli spiriti.
Sì, ok, però io in questo momento mi sento un po' una centrale a biogas.
Meno male che Instagram non fa ancora sentire gli odori, altrimenti passeresti da creator a sterminator.
Simpatico. Chiedo aiuto ai miei follower. Comunque ragazzi, questo posto è assurdo, cioè che forte! E quindi niente, per 24 ore ho fatto solo quello che mi dicevano i follower a New York.
Ma bellissimo, ma non avevi paura che potessero mandarti in posti pericolosi?
Allora all'inizio un po' sì, però poi ho pensato che comunque se mi seguono mi vogliono bene, in teoria. E niente, mi fido e si fidano.
Ragazzi, venite vicino al fuoco, si sta benissimo. Prima di andare a dormire, vi racconto qualche aneddoto di qui, se vi va.
Mi va. Posso riprenderti?
Sì, ma di ai bimbi che ti seguono che farà paura,
Ma se ce la faccio io, ce la fanno anche loro.
Va bene. Allora direi che il racconto del ponte della Maddalena potrebbe andare bene.
Intendi il ponte del diavolo?
Il ponte fu fatto costruire dalla contessa Matilde di Canossa poco dopo l'anno 1000. Ha una forma a schiena d'asino per la campata centrale estremamente alta e sottile in maniera quasi preoccupante. Fu molto complicato dargli quella forma. Pensate che alla vigilia della consegna dei lavori la campata centrale gli era crollata per l'ennesima volta. Il capomastro gli era sprofondato nella disperazione, ovviamente. Ma quella sera, dai nulla, gli apparve un uomo ben vestito. Gli era il diavolo in persona. Questi gli chiese di stipulare un patto. In una sola notte avrebbe terminato il lavoro, ma a una condizione. Il giorno dopo avrebbe preso la prima anima che avesse attraversato il ponte. Il patto fu siglato. Il maligno, in una sola notte, con la sua forca, sollevò la grande campata. Il capomastro, per non far sacrificare una persona, escogitò uno stratagemma. Fece in modo, all'indomani, che nessuno attraversasse il ponte prima di aver buttato lui stesso una focaccia sulla sommità. Così il primo ad attraversare fu un cane bianco. Il diavolo, confuso dalla nebbia, prese con sé l'anima dell'animale e sparì infuriato dentro il fiume. Si dice che nelle notti autunnali un cane bianco appaia sul ponte. Si dice anche che sia il diavolo stesso alla ricerca di Capomastro e della sua vendetta.
Francesca, grazie mille, è stato davvero un piacere. Ciao Giovanni! Arrivo!
Ehi, te ne vai già?
Sì, mi danno uno strappo. Ho trovato un agriturismo un po' più a nord che mi ospita in Emilia Romagna.
Buongiorno Serena, se vieni in salone la colazione è pronta.
Grazie. Buon viaggio allora, Harry, Robert.
Ciao, stai serena? Ci si vede in giro.
Aspetta, ma come faccio ad avere le mie foto? Non hai social, non so dove seguirti.
Ah, puoi seguirmi su YouTube? Dai, scherzo, dammi il tuo numero di telefono.
348 46 Oddio, anche il telefono scarico.
Ti seguirò sui social, ci si vede in giro. Ciao!
Ciao! Sicilia! Sono appena arrivata dopo un viaggione e ve lo devo dire, sono già innamorata.
I've got the whole world at my fingertips. I feel like flying, I feel infinite. Come along now, the sky is endless now. We are limitless, we are limitless now. Come along now, the sky is endless now. We are limitless, we are limitless now.
No ragazzi, non avete idea di che cosa ho trovato. Non ho parole. Adesso vi faccio vedere. Sono io. Scusi? Sto parlando con lei, mi guardi un attimo per favore. Senta, questa sono io. Dove ha trovato la foto? Deve essere passato di qua un ragazzo belloccio, cioè carino, con gli occhi chiari. Si chiama, oddio, Harry, Riccardo, Robert.
Ah, Steve!
No ragazzi, non avete capito che cosa sta succedendo, è surreale. Ve lo spiego dopo. T'ammazzo! Se non muoio prima io. Ricapitoliamo. La mia faccia è finita su una fotografia scattata in un sogno e poi su un dipinto di un Madonnaro in Sicilia. Riccardo, che ora si chiama Steve, è qui e io non so perché. E in tutto ciò devo ancora arrivare all'agriturismo. Che casino!
Eccoci, siamo arrivati.
Grazie mille ancora.
Prego.
Grazie Gina. Ragazzuoli, dopo penso uno dei viaggi più assurdi della mia vita, sono finalmente arrivata all'agriturismo e tra l'altro c'è un profumo di fiori assurdo che me li mangerei. Spettacolissimo.
Buongiorno Serena, sono Nietta. Benvenuta,
Piacere.
benvenuta, ti aspettavamo.
Grazie.
Steve è già qui, puoi accomodarti.
Grazie. Come sapevi che sarei venuta qui? Mi segui? Mi spii in qualche modo? Poi come hai fatto a scattare la foto della mia faccia nel mio sogno? Eravamo d'accordo che mi mandavi le foto di Barga e invece ti ritrovo qui in Sicilia nell'agriturismo. Ma perché? Sei una specie di mago? Mi hai drogata?
Quante storie per una foto?
Per una foto! La mia gigantografia in una piazza non è solo una foto.
Detto da una che ha 90.000 follower e si mostra in pigiama, fa decisamente un certo effetto.
Questa news?
Ragazzi, avete mai visto fare la ricotta come si faceva una volta?
No.
No.
Steve, Serena, andate.
No, ragazzi, che spettacolo! Qui c'è il pastore che fa la ricotta con la ricetta originale siciliana ed è qualcosa di spettacolare. Tra l'altro qua c'è già la ricotta pronta. Ragazzi, questa stanza è fighissima. Voglio vivere qui. Io e le capre.
Quando soffro il mal d'auto ho decisamente una faccia più rosa della tua.
Ho visto un fantasma.
Nella tua stanza? So che questo posto è storico. Magari hanno ammazzato qualcuno in passato.
Non nella mia stanza, in quella in fondo al corridoio.
Ciao ragazzi, tutto bene?
Benissimo.
Ci sono storie di fantasmi da queste parti?
Non penso. Vi posso portare dei piatti della nostra zona, tutto fatto da noi. Se c'è qualcosa che non mangiate lo dico in cucina.
Guarda, hai trovato 2 mangiasassi. Portaci tutto.
Va bene.
Ragazzi, questa è in assoluto all'interno della top 10 delle migliori cene della mia vita. È buonissima. Che spettacolo. O comunque devo finire di parlarti della storia del fantasma, che non è un fantasma. Praticamente prima stavo uscendo dalla mia stanza e ho visto una porta aperta e così ho sbirciato, così, per istinto.
Sbirci nelle stanze degli altri, ci fai le storie su Instagram.
No, è stato casuale, dai. Comunque fa paura. C'era questo tizio che stava sistemando una tunica bianca e la tunica aveva un cappuccio con tipo i fori per gli occhi. Tipo quelle che vedi nei film del Ku Klux Klan. E quindi secondo me mi ha visto e sono scappata.
Sei sicura? Se è così, dobbiamo approfondire e tornare lì, nella sua stanza.
Forse non ce ne sarà bisogno. Posso?
Prego.
Grazie.
Piacere, Steve.
Piacere.
Lei è Serena, non parla molto, è timidissima.
Piacere, Serena. Mi chiamo Emanuele, ma tutti qui mi chiamano Neno.
Piacere di conoscerla, Neno.
Piacere mio. Io spero che tu non ti sia spaventata, ma vedi, capisco bene che per persone che non sono di qui, magari certe nostre usanze possono sembrare, diciamo, suggestive.
Quindi c'è il Ku Klux Klan in Sicilia?
No, niente di tutto questo.
Scusaci, Neno, sembriamo due deficienti.
No, come dicevo prima, io capisco che si resti colpiti. Ma vedete, qui a Piazza Armenina, o Piazza, come la chiamiamo noi, c'è un fortissimo culto per il crocefisso, un culto che risale ad almeno 500 anni or sono. Io adesso vivo e lavoro in Germania, ma sono nato qui e ogni Pasqua torno per rivivere la passione del Venerdì Santo. In tutta la Sicilia non c'è luogo, non c'è piazza che non metta in scena il dramma della passione. E il turista, in mezzo a questa ritualità e partecipazione emotiva, vive ogni luogo come se fosse un teatro.
Deve essere super interessante.
Lo è, ma per noi siciliani è diverso. Il rito sacro è qualcosa che noi viviamo con sentimento. Rendiamo il rito concreto e vero, come se la passione di Cristo avvenisse esattamente in quella piazza e in quel preciso momento. Ed è così dal 1600. Io appartengo a una confraternita che si rifà alle tradizioni dei secoli passati. La processione parte dalla chiesa del Santissimo Crocefisso e attraversa tutto il centro abitato. Noi confratelli apriamo il corteo e trasportiamo in una piccola urna il capo incoronato di spine di Gesù. A chiudere il corteo l'addolorata, portata in spalle da un gruppo di giovani e ragazze vestite a lutto. Nel mezzo il clero, poi i devoti vestiti di bianco e alla fine un gruppo molto rumoroso, i lamentatori. A ritmo di litania narrano i lamentanzi, i patimenti, una specie di pianto di dolore che accompagna la passione. Durante la celebrazione gli uomini e le donne si uniformano di fronte al dolore e alla morte, fino a dimenticare la propria identità.
an expedition into a world as of yet unknown to me. On a journey of around 5,000 miles, my dream comes true. But in this diversity of cultures, how to define myself? And if I succeed, will I be then closer to God? Is then identification my first need? Where is the beginning of things, and why do they end? As the curtain of the monetary calls falls and the core comes to the fore, I'm like a star, illuminating from inside. But what will suffice to understand the vastness of the world? I know that I know nothing. I need the primordial, the pristine. Its vision drives me on. And now I can find my place wherever I come. Nearer and nearer draws the time that shall surely be, when the earth shall be filled with the glory of God as the waters cover the sea. To be one with what I'm doing is essential because the reason why I'm doing it is simple, and the simplicity guides me through the complexity of the world. Here I am, a hopeful seed. I have become the purpose of mystery, and the pulse of life reveals. Mile by mile I let go of egoism. It is joy, and a freedom I've never felt before. All that we do can have no worth unless God bless the deed. Some rights in life aren't as easy as they look. But here's to a new definition of me. And it carries me onward to something I would not have called success before. This has been a dream my whole life. And now I'm here. I see now the aim is not truth, but empirical adequacy. It's maybe time to let go of our worries and things and just be. And yet I found the greatest kingdom here. Among ourselves.
The memories return to my mind every day. It's now a part of me. This piece of peace. I told myself that the urge to discover a sense of self, a new meaning and purpose is why I came. But I lied to myself. I'm always anxious, unsatisfied, yearning to move. Get me on any flight I can afford, away from wherever here is, in unfamiliar lands where I can stretch every bone in my body and every last fiber of my being. This was how I found you. I forgot how much I'd missed your organized chaos and come to love so much in previous lives. Your humble smile, one can forget the social asymmetries and grinding poverty of Bombay. An idea that's long populated my concept of India. Yet you're different. And like so many other lands I've wandered, you mean something. Your intensity has the scent of a heritage that hasn't completely faded. You're stubborn. A pièce de résistance. Though Portugal may have left these shores a short lifetime ago, you've never completely let go. I can feel it everywhere. A sense of belonging, as if in a past life I'd lived here, walked these hills, bathed in this familiar humidity, danced under these heartbreaking sunsets. You were once the beginning of an empire that ruled half the world, and you long for it. I can sense it in every piece of dust, as if time has frozen here. As if on these lands, ghosts from an empire past thirst for conquest. Ghosts steeped in the messianic idea of the Fifth Empire, in which the Portuguese would unite the entire world spiritually and culturally in a perfect and harmonious balance. So much for that. Oh, Goa, I met you with nothing more than my selfish urge to escape. And you gave me a new sense of self, meaning, and purpose. This piece of peace.
Little tomato. Tomato, yes. Yes. For this, it's okay? Yes.
Austria. Trier.
When you close your eyes, what do you see? I see memories of the first time I met you. So calm, yet adventurous. Golden sand and huge palm trees. Your eyes so bright, like there was no place happier than this. Standing on mountains so high, with views so far. A landscape of no end. Warm souls of no regret. Eyes of faith, of love. Endless love. A fire burning inside you, which can never extinguish. A fire of hope. A fire of gold. When you close your eyes, what do you see?
We discovered it there, where we got lost once. Along our journey, it was following us like a shadow from the past. It was everywhere. In the breath of the forest and in the eyes of the child. The farther we went from the trail, the more we felt alive. A source of infinity. Do you remember that feeling? Sand on our feet, breeze playing with our hair. Bound to nothing, connected to all. Here we are. Our bodies taken away, stolen by a drop of water. Timeless, like the earth sustaining us. Infinite, like the horizon dividing the land and the sky. Leaving traces on the sand one wave after another. That's our life. Chasing the name of that moment when everything is born again, when dreams and realities align. We name things to know, to recognize, to feel like we belong. And yet, that name escapes us. What do you call it? That oneness with the wind when it blows, or with the water when it flows? Is it destined to remain without a name? We try to name it, but the moment gets away. And what remains are just empty, meaningless words. Everything familiar has a name. Everything we own has a name. But something is still missing. Feeling nostalgic for a word we won't ever know. For something we will never possess, that has always made us free and alive. Maybe the day we forget ourselves and everything we believe we know is the day we need not name. And finally, be one with the nameless call.
20 χρόνια δεν σταματήσαμε στιγμή να σε ταξιδεύουμε. Κι έτσι κάποια νησιά έγιναν ο τόπος σου. Τα σοκάκια τους έγιναν σπίτι σου. Και οι παραλίες τους έγιναν στέκι σου. Οι ομορφότερες στιγμές σου είναι εκεί και σε περιμένουν. Και εμείς στην Blue Star Ferries φροντίζουμε να σε πάμε εκεί κάνοντας τα πάντα για να σε ταξιδέψουμε υπεύθυνα και πιο οικονομικά, για να μην λες ποτέ αντίο στους ανθρώπους και τα μέρη που αγαπάς, αλλά θα ξανάρθω, γιατί το ταξίδι είναι θέμα εμπιστοσύνης. Blue Star Ferries. Κανείς δεν μας ταξιδεύει καλύτερα.
Walking a dream, but I was not dreaming.
Hi.
Over my head, sun rays were beaming.
Kita.
Mystical world
Kita.
with sacred meaning.
Καλώς τον. Βούτα, βούτα.
I'm feeling free. Oh, feeling free. Sheltering sky. The water's healing. Children will smile.